Hello guys and welcome back to another video on my channel. Now today is a match reaction. It's Luton Town versus Millwall. In this video I'm going to give you guys my thoughts before the game, at half time and at full time. So let's get started. So first we're going to talk about the lineup. I was very excited with it. It was a positive lineup. I didn't expect Nathan to make that many changes to Luton's starting 11. But he did, and I was also very surprised to see Millwall not start Matt Smith. But then we all knew what happened towards the end. He assisted the goal. But anyway, the starting 11 for Luton, I did not expect ADEBAYO to start, Ince to start, and Morel to start. I was very happy though to see those players starting. The only issue I had was Tunnicliffe was starting. You guys know that I am not a fan of Tunnicliffe. But when I'm wrong, and when these players who I don't like perform, I will say when they've done well. And to be fair, Tunnicliffe, I thought, done very well in this game against Millwall. It was against his former club, so maybe that was a coincidence, I'm not too sure. But he done very well, and he also played a massive part for Luton's, obviously, only goal in the game. But let's talk about that first half. I thought Luton started brightly. I thought Luton put the pressure on Millwall's defence, and it was quite an even game. I thought we slightly edged it in terms of creating the better chances and being the better team, but I thought overall the first half was a much better first half of football than what we saw against Stoke. Stoke was poor, there was no fight, there was no passion. Luton did not look like they were going to score. In this game it was the complete opposite. There was passion, there was fight, and also chances were created. We got into some decent areas. It was just that final ball at times was letting Luton down. I didn't think Dewsbury Hall had the best of first halves, if I'm being honest. But I thought the likes of Morel, his positivity during the game was brilliant. His passing is very good for a defensive mid. He is a modern day defensive mid. And this is the problem which Nathan has at the moment, is he doesn't know when to play Morel. Glenn Ray is your old-fashioned defensive midfielder who is better against physical teams like, your teams like Millwall, but he didn't start. But then again, Morel is better against teams who like to play modern-day football, which is, play the ball on the ground. It's all about passing. Glenn Ray, as we all know against Stoke, isn't the best passer on the ball, but Morel is. And I think he had over 85% success pass rate during the game against Millwall. That just shows you that he can, pass the ball, and he has great ability in doing it. But overall, I thought at half-time we were the better team, and I felt we deserved to go in at the break 1-0 up, if I'm being honest. I thought Millwall at the back, they struggled, and we played a different system. We played to our system, our strengths, and which is going for it, which is trying to score goals. It's not sitting back and counter-attacking teams, because that's not Luton Town. We don't do that. And we haven't done that since Nathan Jones came to the club. We're not that type of team. We go for it all the time, and we try and compete against these clubs which we play against. So I was more happy in the first half. We just needed a goal, and then it would have been okay. But we didn't get it. But the more important thing was to go out in the second half at the start of the game and go at Millwall and continue to do what Luton were doing in the first half, but in the second half. And Luton did exactly that. Luton went at them in the second half, and we got the deserved goal, which I felt we needed, ADEBAYO on his debut, fair play. He was great, by the way. He won everything in the air. He managed to use his strength very well. His link-up play is brilliant. He was a hard-working centre-forward. Put him so much pressure on Millwall's backline, and he done a very good job. Him and Tom Ince were brilliant at doing that. They literally caused Millwall so many problems, and that's why it's very disappointing that when we took those two players off, the same thing didn't happen, but I'll go into that in a minute. He could have actually scored a second goal in the game, Clark with a decent ball into the box, but ADEBAYO, he couldn't get it on target, and I think if he did, it probably would have went in, but he managed to obviously head it over the bar. But he was so good in this game, and that's the one positive I want to mention. How bright and how exciting it was to see him play, and how good he performed as well. But then things started to change, and things started to change once Morel got subbed off. Now, I understand why Morel, Ince and ADEBAYO all got subbed off. They haven't played much football over the last few weeks, so they needed to come off. They're not going to last 90 minutes and perform 100%, which I understood why they came off. However, what I didn't understand was why did we change the system to allow Millwall to play their strengths. I said in my match preview, if you guys didn't watch my match preview, I highly recommend it because I literally tell people what could potentially happen if we perform a certain way. So I don't do all that research for nothing. And I said in the match preview against Stoke on how they were going to score, and they did exactly that. And Millwall did exactly what I said in the match preview. So I highly recommend the match previews if you guys obviously want to watch them. But anyway, we played to their strengths. What are Millwall's strengths? Aerial battles, set pieces. And what did Luton keep doing? Giving away silly fouls in silly areas, which is inviting pressure and also allowing Millwall to cross the ball into the box for aerial battles. How did Millwall score their goal? Through aerial battles and putting the ball into the box. You know, it's not rocket science, it's basic football understanding, and yet Luton played to Millwall's strengths. I understand why Ray came on for Morel, however, I knew instantly that was Luton going defensive and not pushing for that second goal. In the Championship, you need to take gambles, and Luton are not doing it. You don't win football games just by one goal. You don't always do that. You can't always rely on one goal. You need more goals, and Luton did not push for that second goal. It's a reoccurring theme this season, not pushing for that second goal, and things need to start improving going forward. You need to keep going. You don't stop, especially at home to Millwall. I rather Luton conceded in the 96th minute because we went for the second rather than holding on, because I know Luton can't do that. Luton don't have the players to do that. You know, it's happened too often over the years, and I just don't like it when Luton put the ball into the corner, because we're not good at holding the ball in these areas. We don't have the right sort of players to do that. If we were going to do that, we need the likes of ADEBAYO to stay on the pitch, but as we all know, he can't last 90 minutes because he hasn't played much. Another good player who's good at holding the ball into the corner flag, Luton. And so is Pelly, but we didn't give the ball to Pelly to do that in those areas. We were relying on Collins and Cornick and Berry to do that. Three players who I don't expect to hold the ball up in the corner and do it that well. What I wanted Nathan Jones to do was take off Morel if he wasn't fit enough, and then put Tunnicliffe in that defensive midfield role, and then maybe bring on a centre mid to do the job which Tunnicliffe was doing. Whether that's Pelly doing it, whether that's Luke Berry doing it. Not bring on Glenn Ray, because what you're doing is you're inviting pressure. Ray's not going to provide that attacking threat, that attacking understanding. At least Tunnicliffe has some of that attacking understanding, but Ray just doesn't. And what we were doing was just inviting pressure for Millwall to play their strengths. Tom Ince, he came off. Why was it for Pelly? Why did Moncur not come on? You know, do like-for-like changes. I don't understand why the system changed. It should have never have changed in that game. And because it did, that's why Millwall scored. And I just want to point out as well, 96 minutes. Why was there 6 minutes added? Now, I know there's probably Millwall fans probably watching this and going, because we time waste. Well, we time wasted to a certain extent. You know, you see teams every week time wasted, but 6 minutes are never added. Why was it 6 minutes? There were no injuries. Luton made the subs at the same time as Millwall throughout the game as well. There was no excuses for there to be 6 minutes. Not at all. And to be fair, Luton, when you're 1-0 up in the 87th minute, and Millwall would have done the same if they were 1-0 up, are you going to sprint to take a goal kick? No, you're not. You are not going to sprint to take a goal kick. So I'm not having the fact that because Luton time wasted, I'm not having that. Why was 6 minutes added on? It should have been. The match should have been 4. Millwall's goal was poor. Losing your battles in the air. Just needed someone to win the header. But Millwall are so good at it. And I said their striker, Matt Smith, he wins pretty much every battle in the air. I feel like Luton, without Matty Pearson and Lockyer, we look very shaky at the back. And it worries me a little bit. So hopefully those two players come back quickly. As Bradley doesn't look the same player without someone next to him. The last 2 games with Craney, he just doesn't feel comfortable. I don't know if he's more exposed, but he just doesn't look good at all without Lockyer or Matty Pearson. So fingers crossed those players come back. What were the positives? ADEBAYO 100%, Morel, Ince. There was a positive 60 minutes. Luton were good for 60 minutes. But from the moment Morel came off the pitch, that's when things started to go wrong. And those are the negatives. Not holding on to that 1-0 lead or not going for the second. Can't keep winning games 1-0. You need to score more goals, especially in the Championship. Because Millwall, of course they were going to gamble. They're 1-0 down. You know, if it was 2-0, would Millwall gamble as much? Probably not, because they're 2-0 down. But when you're 1-0 down, it's a different story. So hopefully, going forward, Luton start to improve it. So there you have it, guys. That is the end of the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Drop a like on the video if you did. Comment below your thoughts about this game against Millwall. Let me know how you felt the boys performed. What was your thoughts about ADEBAYO's performance, Morel's, Tom Ince, who didn't do a good job in the game. I just want to quickly shout out Sluga as well. Thought he made some very good saves. I don't think he could have done much with the goal, if I'm being honest, but he had another good performance. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.